As an external consultant, there's a fine line that I like to walk with clients. And I think I walk at a straight line. Maybe I slip off, but my clients certainly can tell me. And in the context of a learning strategy, that line comes up with kind of ownership and who has ownership of that strategy. And when I start working with a client, I kind of mark out a continuum. So I do, we do, and they do. And an I do approach is consulting where I go in and I do the work. And for a learning strategy, I find that's not very successful because ultimately they're going to need to own that strategy and they're going to need to implement over the years to come. So if I come in and do it, they typically have less ownership of it. So what I prefer to do is a we do together where we create together and I facilitate discussions and working meetings where we can come up with the strategy with a combined effort, or even a they do where I work as a mentor and guide them through the process. Regardless of which of those approaches, the process is kind of a three-step process at a high level. So the first is an analysis of various things, and then making some recommendations, and then finally making the implementation plan. So that's this one block of work. After that comes the really heavy lifting, which is implementing the implementation plan. But first, let's create a plan. And I find that there's a turning point with branding. And because I like to work with my clients, I find that my perspective has changed over the years about what's branded as mine versus where they have ownership. And with the analysis, typically that's a lot of work that I'm helping doing or I'm more hands-on. And so then reports and things will be branded as performance matters. But as we move through that process and get to implementation, the implementation plan really needs to be something that the client's going to own. And so as I'm working with them and helping them craft that, it will be branded as the client's. The recommendations is in the middle there, and that's where that turning point is starting to happen. And so oftentimes that's co-branded with both of us. So it reflects an approach really to work with my clients, not for my clients, and an approach where I want them to shine. We're both working hard. We're both working towards a common goal, but ultimately I want them to be at the forefront and I want them to shine in front of their leaders and in their organizations. And so by taking my branding off as the process unfolds, I'm allowing them some space to do that.